Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Burning Truth.
My apologies if you don't hear half the sound on that. My esteemed colleague might have fucked the sound right
I
up.
haven't messed the sound up, that's for sure. That's just what you couldn't hear. Learn, technology isn't a bad thing. What?
Technology can be a bad thing.
Can be a bad thing. I never said it wasn't.
You know, technology can be used to start rumours that may or may not be true.
Oh, you mean like the one that you keep spreading around?
What, that you're a murderer?
Yeah.
That's not a rumour.
That is a rumour.
I have at least 10 people that can verify that is truth.
Bull. You paid them off.
Do not blame this on Michael Weatherby.
Michael Weatherby. Go on.
You are not the star of Bull.
What? I'm not the star of Bull.
No.
I wasn't blaming anything on Bull.
So don't blame Bull.
I wasn't blaming Bull.
Don't bring Bull into this. What's Bull ever done to you? Apart from leave NCIS at the most important time.
But he is returning.
Or could be returning.
Could be returning. Rumour has it.
See? Going back to these rumours now.
You like to twist words, don't you?
And some say you're the politician.
Coming from the asshole.
Not an asshole.
Okay, you're a twat.
I'm not a twat.
What are you then?
I'm the man.
No. So you're not a twat. Not this. But what are you? What a Hang on. I need to remember. Can you help me remember, please?
I can kick you if you want.
Can you get your foot high enough?
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, hang on. Is he the man, the myth, the legend, and all-round gobshite talker? He is Nathan Goff.
And across from me, Matt Burns. You going for all the kill with the nickname. I aren't giving you the gratitude of nicknames.
I'm sorry, but
It'll hurt you more if I
I'm sorry, but
just
I'm
outright
touched.
announce
I'm
you.
touched. You said my name right.
It'll hurt you more.
You said my name right. Anyway, moving on, shall we? Shall we actually get to the proper business of what we're actually here for?
I mean, shits and giggles.
There's that too. But of course, we do have to talk about what we normally talk every week, which is wrestling!
What is it?
Wrestling!
Are you sure it's in wrestling?
It's not wrestling. And we're not part of the old school WCW.
So, while we're on about the topic of rumours.
Yeah. There is a rumour that going around that on Monday Night Raw this week that supposedly Neville has walked.
Well, he's asked for his release, supposedly.
Well, supposedly he walked first and then asked for his release. But that's why they're stating that the so-called main event shouldn't have been the original planned main event.
No, because if you go to the build-up before... The build-up's there for the last man standing match with Neville.
Yeah. It was actually supposed...
Well, the Lumberjack match,
Well, the Lumberjack was meant to be for Neville, which rumour has it that Neville was going to be losing. And then eventually there was going to be a title match in the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But things have changed and we have a new Cruiserweight champion.
And a debut for 205 Live.
Yes. Kalisto. Which is fantastic news. However, there's talk that the supposed Skywalker Smack Talker is going to get the title back.
Can I ask something here? Has Enzo done more for that belt in 3 weeks than 205 Live's done for the Cruiserweight title in, like, near enough a year?
Possibly.
He has, though. He's made that title relevant in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, he's made that title from opening show curtain jerker belt
Mid-card.
to main event of Raw.
Not just once.
Twice. It's closed out the show twice. And this is a person that supposedly got
Is it
heat.
twice?
What?
Is it twice?
Yeah, because it was the last segment of this show.
I thought it was 3. I thought it's been 3 weeks.
But whatever it is, Enzo has took that belt from curtain jerking to curtain closing. And that's a bloke that supposedly got heat on him for speaking his mind. Well, if speaking your mind and having heat on you gets you the main event of Raw, Enzo, you keep going. You piss off every person in that locker room. Because supposedly he's got the mistreatment at the moment,
Supposedly, yes.
where he has to change in like a hallway or somewhere.
Yeah.
Which probably don't bother him that much because he wears street clothes to the ring anyway. What? I'm being honest. You know, couple of haters.
Couple of haters.
But no, like, he's done more for that Cruiserweight division in 3 weeks than the Cruiserweights did for themselves in about 6 to 9 months.
Which, yes, you could say that, but at the same time, it was originally supposed to be a punishment that he was going down there.
How's holding a title punishment?
It was supposed to be a punishment initially, but it's turned into something else.
Yeah. Like, all good mistakes.
That's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. It was
Strategic planning.
Yeah. You know, we're just going to put that little happy little bush right there.
Yeah, but no, he's done so much for that thingy. And do you want to know why him and Kalisto got a "This is awesome" chant and "Holy shit" chant? Because they've got more charisma between the two of them that's available on the rest of that fucking roster they call a Cruiserweight division. And people may go, yes, they can wrestle, yes, they put on good quality matches. Well, so does a ballet, but you're not going to pay 40 quid to go watch a ballet.
Oh.
People want action, people want to see characters. You know, it's all well and good watching Grand Metallic do a 2.5 pike twist and fucking tuck his knees in at the end of it, but where's the character development? Where's what people can relate to? You know, they don't want to see gymnastics, they want to see relatable characters.
Basically what you're saying is wrestling is no longer about wrestling, it's about characters.
If it was about wrestling, where does the 2.5 twist and pike come in?
Good point. Oh no, I wasn't judging that. I wasn't actually judging
All the greatest matches told stories while wrestling.
Yes.
Savage and Steamboat, regarded by many as one of the greatest matches of all time,
And it told a story.
told the story.
Fantastic one as well.
Had a great build-up and told a great story.
It had some technical ability in it. However,
It's had some great technical
great for you know, I'm not arguing that, not disputing it, but the what you're trying to get across, which I'm actually going to agree with you on this, and check this out, folks. This is one of them times where we actually agree on something massively. It told a great story. It put butts on seats, edge of their seats, not sitting back casually watching it, on the edge of the seats, biting their nails, wondering who's going to win.
Yeah. You got Taker Michaels. That told a great story and a great in-ring match.
Yes.
People like when great matches are told with stories through characters, not just when highly trained athletes are put together.
Skippy dee, skippy doo, skippy da.
There's a difference between a highly trained athlete and a professional wrestler. A wrestler can tell a story, an athlete's just basically like a stunt double.
Oh, harsh words. I'm not arguing or disputing it. This is where a lot of people can say. This is where the infamous Will Ospreay can say, "Oh, we can do gymnastics. We can do that. Yes, you can do all flippy D's, flippy doos, flippy dars. Can you actually tell a story? As long as you are
What annoys me about Will Ospreay is he could probably tell a story if he wants to, but he's so busy showing everyone he can do a fucking backflip, he can't give a fuck to tell a story.
which
Probably
has,
got
whoa,
quite
whoa, whoa,
a great,
whoa, whoa.
considerable amount of talent.
He has been telling stories lately. He has. He has.
People jerk off over that segment with Ricochet, which is highly choreographed.
Can I just say this? People moved on from that. Get over it. They've moved on. That's no longer the next hype now.
So what is the hype now?
Wrestling. Or what it should be.
But that's the biggest problem with the Cruiserweight division. Yes, they do brilliant moves, but they don't put on great matches. And that's where Enzo and Kalisto could probably make a difference, because Kalisto will do all the high-flying things, but he'll be able to tell a story going along with it. When S.A. Rios and Toki Michinoku were there, they got a reception from being able to connect with the fans.
What's so interesting with them pair coming... And some people might say, oh, it's a punishment for them coming down. It's not a punishment. Because take this into account, Enzo and Kalisto were on the main Raw roster. So they pretty much know how to connect with the audience.
But why can't people like Cedric Alexander connect? No, you've got to ask yourself, Cedric Alexander worked in Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Was quite a high up talent in Ring of Honor.
Yes, he was.
So how can he connect there, but not here?
It's a different audience. No. As much as you can say, why isn't he connecting here and why is he not connecting there? Every show has its own audience, and this is where a lot of people make the mistake of, making their assumptions that, if you go to the E, everything's served perfectly fine. But each show has a different audience. Take, for example, the British scene. We like a good... whenever we go to a show, we like a good storytelling.
Yeah. But, however, just to go back to that point of, he can get over while he was on ROH, but he didn't just work ROH, he worked independent. So therefore, he was working to a different crowd, whatever promotion he went to.
Yes.
So surely that is better training for going to the E, because you know what sort of crowd it is.
Yeah.
And if you're going there, you should know, okay, I may need to tweak my character a little bit. But shouldn't it be easier for someone who has spent a couple of years on the independents honing his character?
As much as you could say it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, one person brought this up in a couple of interviews a while back, if I'm not mistaken. Sami Callihan. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Basically, he's one of the early superstars that come from
NXT. He
was in NXT.
Yeah, he was on the independent scene.
He was in the independent scene for a long while, but then they gave him something that didn't work.
But they changed his name, and he wasn't allowed to use his independent gimmick in NXT. Now, Cedric Alexander has got something that Sami Callihan didn't have.
He's got the ability to use his own name, which is quite rare. Which I am actually admitting on this one.
Well, in Sami Callihan's case, he didn't have the ability to use a gimmick he had been trying to perfect on the independent scene.
Yeah.
It's the old Johnny B. Bad argument. Johnny B. All's Mark Miro knew how to be was Johnny B. Bad.
And when it came to him moving over to WWE, he couldn't be Johnny B. Bad.
No, he had to try to be Mark Miro, and
Mark
Miro had the charisma of a potato.
Well, we know how that turned out. Whoops. You know, because if I'm not mistaken with that case, he was meant to have an enhancement to help him, not him be the enhancement of them.
And that enhancement made a lot of money.
Oh, definitely made a lot of money.
But
And we're not going to cause any arguments with that person at all, because I don't fancy being conquered.
no,
That's what I'm saying.
No, but that's what I'm on about. Cedric Alexander's had chance to establish that gimmick and work on it, where Mark Mero and Sam McCallahan had to go in under a different gimmick. And if that gimmick doesn't reach out to the audience, then that's not particularly their fault.
It's not, but at the same time, a lot of people were saying eventually he went on to a house show where he just unleashed, and people were saying Triple H just goes, "Where the hell's this guy been?" And then all of a sudden, someone from the locker room just goes, "He's been here all the time. You just haven't let him be himself." Sort of. So then he took a gamble on himself and left WWE. He willingly left.
Yeah.
And so far, he seems to be he's getting more bookings left, right, and centre with his current international Desperado gimmick.
Yeah, but it is a little bit like the Neville gimmick. So Neville as Pac was allowed to do a lot more than what he's been limited to as Neville.
If I'm honest with you, I think what Pac did with Neville, he was born as a face.
Yeah.
Absolutely boring. Second they turned him heel, loved it. The whole Neville level. You know, "You're not even on the Neville level." As soon as he said that, I thought to myself, that's got a nice ring to it. He then stepped up his game, became an absolute badass, demolished the actual cruiserweight.
Because he's got a brilliant build to him.
But this is the thing. This is the issue that the cruiserweights had. Other than Neville, at the time,
there was no one relatable.
Was there anybody either relatable or anybody who could have dethroned him?
No.
No. Why? The question is why was there nobody there to overthrow him? So straight away then, they then had to bring in somebody else to do the job.
Yeah, and Enzo and Kalisto are good additions.
Very.
But who'd you bring in next? And I've got a great suggestion.
Go on.
Andre Cien Almas.
Good call. However, he's currently in the battle for the NXT Championship.
Yeah,
Currently.
But afterwards, why don't you bring him up to...
Yeah. Why not? Great character. Absolutely fantastic. Doing some good work.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Straight away, a new wrestler who I think will benefit the Cruiserweight division right now from the NXT, Leo Rush.
Why not ask Mysterio if he fancies doing a limited 6 to 12 month run?
Possibly.
Because all he wants is a limited date schedule.
But that's up to the E if they want that. But at the moment in time, I don't think that's the case at the moment. But it would be foolish not to have him around.
Or why not a Yushin Thunder Liger?
Yeah, straight away. If I'm not mistaken, they've got him on hand. Because they had him on hand for NXT TakeOver.
Yeah.
When Tyler Breeze was there, and they did sign into a contract then. So why not bring him in?
Using to give on that rub. He's a household name.
Household name, phenomenal superstar, knows the division like the back of his hand. Feels comfortable.
Can still go 10 or 15 minutes. He could probably help someone like Enzo put on a good match.
Yes.
Like Kalisto has, but it'd be a different style of match. Because Liger isn't going to jump around the ring for 15 minutes.
No, he doesn't need to. He could throw in a backhand from out of nowhere. Bam!
Yeah. But that's the thing that he's got to do. So, what else is there that you want to look at this week? So, have you watched TNA?
Bits.
Well, you discussed TNA, and just bring us up to speed.
Right. Basically, at this moment in time, we've currently got Bobby Lashley being hunted. There's the whole MMA thing, which I think is an interesting storyline that they're trying to mix in MMA too much with it and whatnot. They've got the whole Mexican, Lucha Libre AAA going against TNA as well, with Cowboy James Storm teaming with Ethan Carter III, which is quite interesting. You've got Eli Drake, who is currently the champion and should be possibly defending against Johnny Impact. I know I rant about this one, about his name every week, but why? Why name your character's name after the damn TV show? I understand you were on Raw, Johnny Nitro for a bit because of WCW. I'm surprised you didn't become Johnny Raw, Johnny SmackDown. I think the WWE did the smart thing eventually, saying, "Oh right, we'll pull you away from them stupid names." The point being is, why call yourself Johnny Impact? Just so you can go Impact, 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 just so you can hear the crowd chanting the company, the show name. Real original. It doesn't come across as original. Now, the one thing I will state at the moment in time, Eli Drake has been quite interesting as a champion. As much as a lot of people don't see him as the main champion and whatnot, the fact is he's actually carrying the belt as a heel comfortably and doing it quite well. At the same time, Bound for Glory, if I'm not mistaken, is actually being held in Canada, which he is a natural native of. So straight away, putting him against Johnny Nitro in Canada, isn't that going to put Nitro as a heel on that show and Eli Drake as a babyface potentially? Also, we're also coming to near enough the final shows with Cornette, with Impact and everything, because technically he won't be at Bound for Glory because the whole thing he's not allowed in the country due to certain terms, conditions and whatnot. So straight away he's now gone. Mr. Thank you, fuck you, goodbye. Right, there's that. There's plenty going on at the moment. Rumor wise, it's still carrying on fine. It seems it's coming off as fine. The question is that a lot of people don't know. We don't know at the current event, is it still being referred to as GFW because the whole fact of Jeff Jarrett not being around, and if I'm not mistaken, technically Jeff Jarrett could technically take him to court over it, because really if the sale hasn't gone through, that's his intellectual property. So technically they're using his intellectual property without his permission, as long as he's given it. If he has given it, then fair enough. Can keep using it. The point being is, if they're going to renege on the deal, don't they need to drop the GFW heavyweight title and bring back the TNA heavyweight title straight away?
No. What they need to do is bring back a TNA heavyweight title.
That's what I'm saying.
Or have it as the Impact Heavyweight Championship.
Correct. However, I've just been as you probably just heard me over the mini rant of Johnny Impact. I argue with I stated I argue it every week. Why call yourself Impact?
Why not have him as Johnny Mundo?
Johnny Morrison Mundo, which he's known as for in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
And throughout most of AAA. And
really good talent, and can be used to establish a heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
But it's no good using a name that you might end up having a cease and desist for.
No kidding.
But from a point of, do you use the heavyweight title? I'd probably rebrand it. If you're going to rebrand again, find something that doesn't sound like it belongs in a police slogan or something, and stick on a name that you're not going to have to give up.
Pretty much. Nailed it straight away. Got my point across straight away.
So, I want to move on from there, and I want to come across the pond.
Let me just say this. Let's move on from that, very quickly.
Let's come back across the pond.
Hey.
So, how much do you know about ICW?
Go on.
So, the women's match that happened, I think it was last weekend. It might be the weekend before. I haven't caught the date.
Right.
But it was Casey versus Kaylee Ray
Yeah.
for ICW's...
Women's Championship.
Yeah. Now, the match, quality match, heavily overbooked.
Yes.
Now, people go, how can it be a good match but heavily overbooked?
The people who are involved, it could be potentially, amazing workers, but if they've got too much going on and everything carrying on, it can actually damage the product.
So, in the match, you had the Filthy Generation to come in to try and help Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
You had Viper making a return. A botched cannonball attempt, which looked more like the Undertaker's DDT that he received from Juice at WrestleMania.
That never happened.
Then you had... I forget what the other tag team's name was that came out to try even up. But there was just...
Chaos.
Yeah.
It's just chaos.
That match might have been the best women's
Would that be
match.
Legion?
What?
Against Filthy Generation.
What is it?
Legion.
No, it wasn't Legion.
Wasn't Legion.
No. Because Legion at the moment are currently in the midst of a breakup.
Right.
I'll explain that afterwards. Because in all fairness, ICW's got some really good storylines going on.
Continue.
But the women's match could have been so much better if it wasn't for a little bit of overbooking.
If they just let it breathe.
Yeah, like, the outcome still could have been the same, because Kaylee Ray likes to make herself known as the Queen of Hardcore.
Yep.
And she took a sick bump off their... They call it a stage. I call it a little ramp, boy. But...
What?
Because it's not like a WWE old-fashioned stage where it's 10 foot down and...
As in like, if you get thrown off, you're gonna die!
Whereas this is like a 2 foot little ramp. But she took a sick, and I mean sick bump, back body drop onto the railing.
Oh.
Like a flat railing. Really good match. It's worth watching. If I can find the full match, I'll try to post it on our Facebook page.
Yep.
After the show. Because it is a really good match and really worth watching. Now, I'm happy you've brought up Legion. Because, as everyone knows, Stokes Mikey Whiplash is the leader of Legion.
Well. Is the current leader. Wasn't the original leader. So the original leader is currently assigned somewhere else. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but Mikey Whiplash had Chris Renfrew under his control.
Yes.
But now Renfrew has broke free.
Renfrew's free!
Now, have you seen some of the promos that Renfrew has cut?
It's going to be pretty...
It's amazing. On one of them. Because you've got the King of the Death match coming up at Fear and Loathing at the Hydro.
Which is, if I'm not mistaken, got someone by the name of Havoc involved.
Yeah, so you've got Jimmy Havoc, Chris Renfrew, you've got Mikey Whiplash, and then I think you've also got Jack Jester.
Yes.
Involved, because it's a fatal four-way King of the Death match.
Possibly.
But I think Jester might be pulling out of it, and someone might be going in his place because of what's happening with the Kinky Party. Which is a great tag team.
When I first heard about it, I was like, huh?
So, but some of the promos have been done leading up to this. So you got Chris Renfrew saying that he doesn't want to wait until the King of the Death match. They're going to have a King of the Death match
Pre-match.
before, and he literally said he's going to decapitate Whiplash when he came out, and when he came out of the spell, he went crazy with the kendo stick.
Oh yeah.
Really good. And in all fairness, you can get ICW on demand. I think it's about £4 or £5 a month.
Worth it.
Really good. Like, there's some really good storylines. Not everything there that you see is brilliant, but some really good storylines. And the match with Sabu and Whiplash, really good.
Yeah.
And you also see the local hero, Joe Hendry, try to...
He's not the local
in.
hero anymore.
No, but I like to call him the local hero.
He's no... He is no longer the local hero.
No. He's the boss.
He's the prestige hero.
Yeah. But no, he's gone heel as well in ICW, but to me, he's still the local hero, damn it.
He's not local!
But he cuts one of his infamous entrance promos on Sabu. And it's really good. Really good. Worth a watch, folks. But
no spoilers.
The build-up to Fear and Loathing going pretty well at the moment.
It's always good with RCW, the build-up for the Fear and Loathing. You always know how to...
Now, if they could just transfer that to the rest of the year round,
yeah,
I think they are really close to getting a TV deal.
They will get close to a TV deal. However, that might depend on if they've already got a deal with WWE at the moment.
In all fairness, the best thing that could happen for ICW, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, is if Impact Wrestling went down.
But at the moment, I doubt it because they've actually started up their own network, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but if Impact Wrestling went down, then ICW could have some of its wrestlers back that it's missing. Because like, if they want to have people like Bram or Grado, they have to pay 10% to...
Yeah, which if I'm not mistaken, Bram is actually over here soon. He is actually over here soon.
Not 100% certain where he is yet, but rumour has it that he is going to be over here.
Yes.
Over, I think, November and December.
There is a rumour that he's possibly going to be involved. It's some companies where there's going to be some big matches involved potentially, but we don't know exactly where or when.
And he hasn't confirmed on social media yet that
Not
he's
yet.
over here.
But one thing I will state that is clear is that he has actually recovered from that injury the last time we mentioned him, which is absolutely good to hear.
So that's fine. So moving on from ICW, as I say, I'll try to post some of the things that they've been doing recently because they've been doing some really good stuff. So let's move on from there. Is there any other promotions in the UK that you'd like to look at this week?
Some promotions that we think we can look at. We'd always.
Are we any closer to finding out who might be debuting in WCPW?
WCPW debuting.
Yeah, in What Culture Pro Wrestling, they've been having the mysterious promo about someone debuting.
Not yet. Supposedly yet.
Because when we were chatting, you thought it might be the pastor.
Pastor William Ava or White Tiger and numerous people potentially. There was, but there's been no reveal of it yet. However, the WCPW have just done their final episode of Loaded.
Yeah.
As they are no longer going to be known as WCPW. It will be now known as Defiant.
And how's your other favourite startup that hasn't started up yet?
Let me finish me WCPW chat first, because we haven't finished actually, because we've actually had some title changes in WCPW. If I'm not mistaken, War Machine actually lost their tag team titles to a very unique tag team.
Okay.
And do you know how they got into this situation?
Go on.
They got into the situation because at one show, they managed to come across somebody else's title and steal it. That would be the Hardcore Champion. Do you know that?
Mate.
Yeah. Who was very, very upset. Come out, and War Machine pretty much said, you want this thing? Come get it. And as he went for rev up at them, they both snarled at him to indicate, you can't take us both on. So somebody come out and joined them.
Go on.
Who fought for that title on that very same night and said, yeah, us pair have kicked each other's heads in now, but, you know, we got over it. We dealt with it. However, I don't like the fact that you're holding that title. That's not yours. Doesn't belong to you. I'll tell you what. We'll do you a deal. Hold that title for 1 week. And next week, we'll fight you for your title. So we'll just claim all 3 titles. And do you know who that person was? Jimmy fucking Havoc. Think of that for a minute.
That's like an insanity pairing.
Primate and Jimmy Havoc. Are you nuts?
Has Primate still got a keeper?
What?
Has Primate still got a handler?
No. He's fully unleashed. Is that good?
It'll be interesting.
Oh, it was a beatdown. They actually managed to win the tag titles. And now, essentially now, we've got Jimmy Havoc and Primate as the now official Defiant tag team champions.
And have you still got...
However, I haven't finished yet. And this will make you laugh. Marty Skittle will come out to say, so happy to be your final WCPW champion and be your first Defiant champion ever. Think argument, and someone came out with a Prestige.
Go on.
You can guess who? That would be Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Declaring that, you know, he wants his match, title rematch, blah, blah, blah. He should be, you know, he is the rightful owner of it, blah, blah, blah. He should be. As he's decreeing what he wants, this calls out for General Manager Stu Bennett, who come out and says, right, there is going to be a title match tonight. However, Joe Hendry, I'm afraid, and he paused for a second, let the crowd say it, I've got some bad news. It's not you. Instead, they ended up having Travis Banks versus Marty Skirtle on the last one. That, to me, is a very interesting main event. Now, unfortunately for the Prestige, Marty Skirtle's still champ.
But that's a great rub for Travis Banks.
Definitely. However, Stu Bennett keeps getting pulled over on the street. Why being so defiant? So the brand's getting across. The brand is getting across.
Stu Bennett's probably one of the best people that could work with that company.
Yeah.
To help put it across, because people know who he is from his exposure in the E, but he's actually a relatable person as well. And at one point or another, he can get in a ring.
Yeah, and he's also good on the mic.
Yeah.
Very talented on the mic. Anything else you want to discuss?
So, how's your favourite startup that isn't a startup yet?
I mean, not what culture? You mean Cultureholics?
Yes.
We've got the one now. Congrats C1. However, I remember me saying it would be on a Saturday with the reveal. I was mistaken. It should be on a Thursday, potentially, the reveal of it.
Okay.
So we've got to wait until next Thursday, potentially, to find out. However, one thing I will say is, when each time they've done it, some of the tweets and replies from people is absolutely hilarious.
Well,
as you're going down the list, you got people just sending in like gifs of, well, get on with it, come on, or Austin on the corner, you know, shaking his wrist, looking at an invisible watch.
But no, it's good. It'll be good. It's another promotion in the UK. Just be interesting to see what financial backing they've got behind themselves.
It'll be interesting to see what they've got, but I don't think it's a wrestling company per se. But we'll just see what it is first.
Don't you think it'll be a wrestling company?
I don't think it will be for some unknown reason yet. I don't know why. Because if you think about it, Cultureholic Ventures Limited. I think it will be talking wrestling. I do think so, and that's the reason why we're discussing it. However, if it isn't about wrestling, we will be quickly very, 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 very moving on. Agreed?
Yes.
Which will make you happy.
So you, talking about things wrestling, I've just started to play 2K18.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on 2K18? This is the one time that you actually get to talk gaming and wrestling on a wrestling podcast for the year.
It's unusual. It's Personally, I like how they've done the actions on it. The graphics have ramped up massively. I think the fact that they've made it so you can create it your own. However, there's one thing that's some people might find a hindrance, but me personally, I don't find it a hindrance. I find it a challenge.
Okay.
Is the fact that you have to earn everything.
Yeah.
You have to earn everything.
Well, if everything was given to you, would you want to play?
No, you wouldn't. And it looks like it's got the potential to have microtransactions in it. Does it have it?
No.
No. Anything that you have to purchase, you can only purchase using in-game currency, which you have to build up with over time.
For now.
Which I'm waiting for the microtransactions. If there is not microtransactions, I will hate you 2K18. I will hate 2K games for it. Because that's the one thing in wrestling games I don't want. Because...
Well, is it a microtransaction, or is it like in previous years, where you just pay £5 and you have it done? I class a microtransaction as something that can be done more than once.
It will be some... Because in it, there's an option for it to be more than once. Because you have to unlock... it's almost like packets.
Yeah.
Like little movable boxes. Brown, silver, gold. And it goes up in currency depending on how much you want to spend. Now that's just using the in-game currency, which you build up over time. You can even build it up on offline mode as well, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say about this year I do find very interesting is the My Career mode.
Okay.
Now a lot of people state, what's this My Career mode? Now, this is where you just build your own wrestler from the ground up. But when you first start off, just give you basic templates and then you can build them up separately. This year is different because if you notice, last year you could have it so everyone's on 99.
Yeah.
Full stats, everything. Could be the mass reversals. Can't this year. Your ability of how much you can reverse will depend on your fighting style this year. And how much strength you have as well. So they actually got it so you have to think strategically. So I think that's quite interesting. You know, because if you're going to be a technical wrestler, you're not going to be doing many strikes. You're going to be ground, wrestling, reversals, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mat-based, which is interesting.
It opens up, and if I'm not mistaken, I haven't played the game yet, but you've got two career paths. So you can go along like the fan favourite or... the heel
man.
as such.
Corporate man.
Yeah, the
They don't actually. They actually don't actually state on it which is which. Because the funny thing about it is, as much as someone can say corporate man is a heel, you'll actually notice a few teams on there are corporate man, but are actually faces, and people who are heels got fan favourites. It's because it depends on if you're doing it for the company or really for the fans, really.
Yeah, and like whatever way you take gives you
different options.
Yeah, different options, but also perks. So if you go across like for the company man, you get to like erase a match and put yourself in a different match.
Potentially.
Whereas if the other way, you get a rub from the legends.
You get more of an interest from the legends, and potentially may even get to create your own championship belt, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So each way has a
different style of going around. One easier than others, depending on what style
You've
you are.
also got backstage interactions.
Yes, you
that
do.
Are back.
It's also interesting because you're actually running around.
Yeah.
But you're depending on how you are early on. When you build up what sort of character you are, you will eventually be in the background talking to Renee, doing an interview. Somebody will join in, try to be a smart aleck and whatnot, or you can actually be somebody who just walks up and just punches somebody in the face.
So no, they are trying to develop the game.
Yeah. But I can't
bring it on.
Yeah, but I can't.
I still miss the GM mode though.
I know what you mean, but they still got their thingy, the universe mode, which can be sort of a bit like the GM mode. But I know exactly what you mean, the proper GM mode where you can go against other people as GMs themselves, which I do miss that myself.
Where create your own roster, you have a budget, different match types, cost you a bit of your budget.
Straight away, if we had that right now, I'll tell you this now. We would be streaming that. We would be streaming it ourselves and uploading that, and have you lot tell us what you think. Compared to what the game thinks, who had the better show and everything, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
but we can't.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Who knows?
But there's a lot of good things going on in that game, and it's come on from the last 2 years.
It has. Another interesting fact is, with my career, you don't just do your own career. You've actually got like a Road to Glory mode, which you actually battle against other online players with their characters, which is interesting. But depending on what level you are, you'll actually fight at whatever level you're meant to be fighting at. So if you've got nothing in the case, you will go up against somebody who's like 50-50. So it's pretty Steven. Even Steven's when you first get on, but the more you get up prestige, the more harder the person you're going to be up against. So just remember, while you're also winning matches, you will come across people who will be kicking your ass. Another thing I will say, that's another good point on it, is if you're in story mode and your character is, just say 50, and you get told, run in the ring with someone who's Baron Corbin's level, are you going to be winning?
No.
What happens?
You get your arse smacked.
You get your arse smacked. What does it turn into? By wrestling terminology? A frickin' squash match. And before you ask, yes, I actually lost to him. I got pretty much run at him, tried to hit him, didn't flinch. End of days, game over.
But no, it's realistic.
It
Having
is.
to build your way up.
It is, and the good thing about it is, not all the victories on it are meant to be you winning every match. You sometimes actually have to lose matches.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting and clever.
But no, so I think that's good from this point of view. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to try crank out another couple of interviews. There's going to be a little bit of a break in November for a week because we're at the Academy in November on the Saturday. So for that weekend, you might have a pre-recorded episode.
You may do.
I also fly out about 3 hours after the Academy show.
Yep.
To go back for a sabbatical.
That is correct. So straight away there might be some pre-recorded episodes, or me on my own, potentially. But we have got some interesting stuff coming up. But for now, not everything can be revealed yet. Correct?
Correct.
Correct.
So, our usual little plugs. So, follow Team 4-Star.
Yeah, as always. Botchamania. We always recommend checking. I always recommend checking out a local band, New Breed.
Also, look out for Changes.
Changes is always a good call. Anybody else you want to give a shout out?
Watch out for our friends over at the UKWA. They upload a match from a different promotion in the week.
That they
So
do.
some good matches on there.
So give them a check out.
And then just find us at our usual places.
Which is either Facebook, Twitter, email,
Instagram,
and if you see us at the local pub.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll always recommend you stay well, stay safe. We'll hopefully see you at either the next show review, next interview, or the next broadcast. Till then, stay safe.